Hey guys, in this video I'll show you how to research every single prospect within 30 seconds of them booking a call with you automatically using AI inside of Clay.com, and specifically I'm going to walk you through step by step how you can set this up alongside me so I handhold you through the entire process. So essentially the trigger, which is otherwise known as the first step of the automation, is basically any sort of booking that comes in. So you may currently use a platform like Calendly, you may use a platform like TidyCal. Either way, this will work. Now, this entire workflow will be powered by Make, so everything I show you now will be connected together through Make. And don't worry, Make is not too technical. You can get a free account, and all of this should work just fine. So essentially, the first thing we'll do is like a new booking will be made inside of TidyCal or Calendly. This data will then be pushed inside of Clay, and then from Clay, we can then research the prospects, do all of that fun stuff, and then push it into your CRM and send you a Slack notification. If that sounds great and you're hooked into this video as much as I am creating it, all you have to do is go inside of Make and create a free account, go into scenarios, click on create a new scenario, and over here, the first thing you're going to do is type in Calendly. Of course, if you have Calendly, right? So that depends if you have a Calendly account or not. If you do have a Calendly account, you will click on watch events. But since unfortunately I only have a TidyCal account, I'm just going to click on TidyCal and click on watch new booking. Now, in the meantime, you may be asking me, why the hell do you use TidyCal? What's wrong with Calendly? And the answer is simple. You get all the premium features for an entire lifetime, so you don't pay any monthly fees. You get exactly the same features as you do with Calendly with TidyCal in return for $39 for a lifetime fee. So you pay it once and you get it forever for your entire lifetime. So that's why I prefer TidyCal. And this post is unfortunately not sponsored by them just yet. And at this moment in time, this is basically the trigger. And we're going to say, from now on, we're going to basically be watching for new bookings. Now, as soon as a new booking occurs, this is what the next step will be. We'll click on plus and we'll type in HTTP. And over here, we'll click on make a request. And this URL will be the webhook from Clay. So inside of Clay, we need to go and click on create new workbook, blank workbook, and somewhere find whenever it says create a new table, we type in the word webhook, and it should give us a webhook URL over here in the top right hand corner. At that moment in time, we copy and paste the webhook URL. Of course, in this case, we need to post the data. So for context, if you were to get the data, you will take the data from the Clay table. But rather, we're trying to post the data from TidyCal into Clay. So that's what we're going to do here. The body type we will select to be this random www form URL encoded. And then finally, we would need to add some fields. So in this case, I'm just going to spare this for the time being, and I'll show you what it looks like later down the line. Right, so Tim at b2b-boosted.com. So at that moment in time, I think that we should have enough data points so we can click on save. And always be mindful of whenever you save a scenario inside of Make, always make sure that you click on save over here so that it refreshes everything. And also make sure to click save at the bottom here, or Command S if you're doing this on a Mac. And sorry, I don't know what the shortcut is on PC, or like whatever you call the other type of computers. So essentially, you click on save. At that moment in time, we're just going to click on run once, and we're going to see what happens. So this moment in time, because we have no data, obviously it says 1 over here, but no data gets transferred. So in order for us to actually test out this entire workflow, we need to go into TidyCal, and straight away, we basically need to go and copy a link and basically just book in something into our own calendar, which is quite sad, right? And in the meantime, whilst you're getting yourself booked in, click on run once so that it's running in the background, and just quickly book in a slot with yourself for whatever random time you deem sensible. Click on book event, and you should straight away see, as soon as that happens, that the data comes in inside of TidyCal, and it should be pushed into Clay. So if it says a 1 at the top of the screen, that means that the data has been transferred. And obviously the only way to tell is to basically go inside of the Clay table, refresh the table, and you should be able to see the data come in over here. So I just refreshed my page a couple of times, probably worth doing that. And straight away, you can click on the webhook and you should see that the data has been transferred. So in this case, it's just the email address. So I could just fill in the email address. And from here onwards, you can then personalize the outreach and do all of that funky stuff. Now, I'm not really going to spend hours teaching you how to research the person, but I'm just going to give you one hidden gem that probably no one really, not many people would think about. So essentially what we're going to do here is we'll click on add column, we'll click on formula, and we'll just say grab the domain from email. And what this will allow us to do is to then basically have access just to the website of the company. So we'll then say website URL of Prospect, and then we can go and just scrape the website and interpret it and find out testimonials from the website, pain points, any of that funky stuff. And basically that's it. That's all you really have to do. So all you will do is then just carry out a bunch of enrichments. Hopefully you know how to do this already. If you don't, I recommend you check out a course which is called unlockclay.com, which is my personal course, which walks you from beginner to advanced at clay.com. And essentially all you will do after that is inside of the Clay table, you would probably want to then push that data from Clay into your CRM or wherever else. For that, you will need to click on Add Enrichment. You'll type in HTTP API. You will select the HTTP API. And once again, in this case, I'm just going to show you what I've already saved, but you can set this up manually as well. So in simple terms, you will select post to be the method. You will create an endpoint. And once again, an endpoint will be a separate scenario inside of Make. So you would probably have to just save this one for the time being and just call it test scenario for video meeting prep, right? And we'll go into scenarios again and we'll create a new scenario. And in this case, what you basically have to do is type in webhook, and it says triggers when webhook receives data. So this custom webhook feature at the very top. So you will click on that, and you'll basically just click on add and call a new webhook, which is like meeting prep notes after research. You'll click on save again. And what you need to do is basically copy the address of this clipboard. So this will be the place where like the data comes in from Clay. So you will copy and paste it. And straight away over here, you can then pass any information that you wish from Clay into Make. And then from Make onwards, you can then transfer this data into like whatever random place that you want to transfer it. So essentially in this case, you have the email address of the person, you have the full name. I'm going to delete all the other stuff because everything else is irrelevant, but you get the idea. Like any other data that you want to format, you will format in quotation marks. You will use this like funny looking sign between them, and then you'll put another but basically this is the header and this is the actual value, right? At that moment in time, you're then going to click on save and run the row. And hopefully, if you're techie enough, this should end up coming into Make within a couple of seconds. The only way you will know inside of Make is if you click on run once. And if you click on that, let's just see. And it says error, failed to pass body input, classic. Now in this case, I'm just probably going to just reverse whatever I've done before, because I think that'll probably mess things up. So I don't want to spend too much time on that. And I'll probably rerun it, and I think it should be just fine right now. So let's just see. And voila, it says 200. If you've never used HTTP API before, 200 basically means that it ran correctly, and this data has been transferred inside of Make. So inside of Make, the data should be here, and then you can basically populate the data as you wish, and you can then create any sort of other. So like this data will be sent here, and then you can send yourself like a Slack message, for example. And once again, I'm not sure how familiar you are with Slack or anything of that sort, but that should basically make it super straightforward for you to transfer the data from there onwards. Now, if you wish to keep this data inside of Clay, and if you just wish to just to send it into Slack, you can. I'm not sure if you're familiar with this, but Clay has a native Slack integration, so you just click on Slack, send message to channel. You have to add your account here. You need to basically choose all this funky stuff, and then you can basically send yourself a message as soon as a person. For example, here I've just signed in with my own bot name. I've connected my accounts, and then I can just select the general channel and just basically send them a bunch of random information that, so for example, like this email address, and then save it and run the row. And hopefully this will start sending messages to the general channel. So let's see what happens. So it says sent. If I go into my Slack channel here, you can see that in this channel, which I use for like the dummy messages, it has just sent a message with my email address, which is the data that we wanted to output directly from into Slack. So essentially that's end-to-end how you would set up a very basic meeting preparation workflow. Of course, and I probably mentioned this already, the biggest handicap throughout all of this will be how the hell do you actually research people inside of Clay. And if you want to get the exact template that I use, I will drop it underneath one of the first videos inside of unlockclay.com. So that just gives you another reason to go and sign up. at a ridiculously low price for a ridiculously great course. So by all means, enjoy that. Or alternatively, if you're watching this on YouTube, I'll actually do you a huge favor and I'll link the make scenario and the clay table that I use to prepare for meetings. I will link all of them underneath the video so you can enjoy the same, like literally try out the same templates as what I used over the past few years. So other than that, have a good one. Hope you enjoyed the video. Please like it if you watched this far, because to be honest, I expect like 1 or 2 people to watch it to the very end. And other than that, I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.